I am Jamia Haynes, your current club president-elect, and I want to welcome you to our online meeting. We'll start with our invocation. Emerson, are you going to lead us today?
Yes, I am. Let's be in an attitude of prayer. Creator God, the coming of spring reminds us of your continuing creative power. I did nothing to make the trees bud or the grass green, yet it is happening before my eyes. While we did not create the earth or its people, we do have the power to build up or destroy both our relationship with the earth and our relationships with our neighbors. Help us to make wise choices, continuing your creative work in our world. Loving God, we have been blessed by you. May we be a blessing to others. Amen.
Amen, and thank you. All right, let's move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand as you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, visitors. Who's with us today? Do we have any visitors? Anyone like to? I know that Andy is with us today, and he is working with Lori on his membership. I don't see him. I see Mr. Musil joined us.
No way.
Good to have you. Any visitors? Anyone else? No. Okay. Club or committee updates and announcements. Foundation. Tim, did you have any updates to share?
Jamea, Tim is not able to join today. He's, I think, having to work in Manhattan, Kansas, of all places.
Ah.
But, he asked me to remind everyone that the foundation is planning two $5,000 grants to local entities that are doing good works. We are going to make the decision at a board meeting on, or pardon me, the applications are due on April 5. And I'd like to encourage members to submit their applications. If you have connection with a worthy organization that has not been funded by the foundation in the last 5 years, we're trying to get something new going out there. So please submit applications to the foundation. You can send them to Tim or to me, and we will get those under consideration. April 5 is the cutoff. Thanks, Jamea.
Okay, good. Thank you, Jeff. Any other service project announcements to share? No? Carol, did you have anything to share?
I don't. I know that coming up the beginning of April, it might be April 1st. Is David Austin on today?
Yes.
We have the tree planting event with the Shawnee Mission South students, if anybody's good with the shovel. So be watching the eSpoke this week and the next week, and I'll feed out whatever information David chooses to get to me.
Okay, I heard my name mentioned. I'd just like to make a pitch for sponsorship of trees. We have been asked as a club to help the Interact kids in this project that's coming up on Earth Day. And what we can do financially now is to sponsor a tree for $75. So like to ask for money. Take out your checkbook. $75 will sponsor a tree. This will be of tremendous help to our Interact Club kids if each one of us could do that. I don't think $75 is a lot to ask, but it would be a huge help for them. Yes.
Could you, I know you've sent it out several times. If you could put something in the chat, we could put it on our social media and encourage our friends as well as we as Rotarians to donate.
Okay, I'll try to do that. Barring that, it will definitely be in the eSpoke.
Okay.
Okay, I'll fumble and see if I can get it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you, David and Carol. Well, we have some birthdays to share today. Larry Brubaker is March 21st. Chad Welter, March 22nd. So happy birthday, Chad. Andy Heath, March 23rd, tomorrow. And Renee Jacobs, March 24th. So it's a busy birthday week. As far as anniversaries, Raymond and Krista McClanahan, 24 years. So congratulations to them. And years in Rotary, George Cook is celebrating 22 years in Rotary. So
Cool.
hey, quite a milestone. Congratulations. Let's move on to member good news. Anyone have good news to share?
Well, this is David Stallings. I'm happy to report that a couple of years ago, maybe more, we tried to start a music group of various players that had guitars or something that would be comparable to that. And what came out of that is a group of 4 people who have been playing on Saturdays for the last year and a half, every Saturday, which includes Nate Harbor, myself, John Bennett, and John Bennett's sister-in-law, who picked up the guitar. So the 4 of us, predominantly Rotarians, have been doing this for the last year and a half, maybe a little longer, and we just have a great time. So I would encourage anybody to call me if they have taken up guitar as a new venture, or if they found their old guitar from their teenage years, to give me a call and we can see what we can do about putting a group together. I think it's just a great way to extend the Rotary family.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday.
Patrick just informed me that there are several dates in May for you guys to perform a concert for the program.
Sure, I think we're busy that month, but put that down. We're guitar players, not performers. So, but Jeff knows that already. So, thanks for the invite.
Thank you, David. Anything else? Okay, well, let's move on to the roundtable breakout sessions. I will transition to this segment by I guess giving a formal announcement with regard to the presidency and the rest of the term, and lots of you have asked, and to be honest, I haven't had an answer for you because we've been somewhat in limbo, but it is official now. Chris is very busy, as many of us are in the real estate industry with the PPP loans, and he is not able to finish out his term. So you're stuck with me for the rest of his term and on to my term. So that's the official plan. And I welcome and am thankful for everyone that's reached out to me to give me insight into how all of this works. And if I need to know something, or that's tremendously helpful. As I work my way through the PETS program, I'm still kind of learning, but I'm learning on the job. So thank you to everyone, and please reach out if you want to communicate or talk and share any information. I would love to hear it from you. And with that, what I would say is what we're going to do as your executive committee, we're committed to moving forward. And so Will and Lori and I have already started meeting, and we are putting our game plan together for what this looks like in the future. What does our club look like going forward? And what do we have to do to get there? So I thought this would be a nice breakout session discussion for us all to have, to think about and talk about what one service project or mission do you think that our club should focus on going forward? What's your vision for our club? And we have a nice combination of members. We have seasoned folks and new folks. And so I would encourage you to use this breakout time to discuss, share history when applicable, and or think about what we want to do moving forward. So let's talk about that. And then I'd also say that if you have a discussion that you think that you would like for us to hear, please email me and let me know what became of your discussion. And like I had shared, we'll have some surveys coming forward, but we want to kind of hear what becomes of some of this exchange between our members. And we want it to be what we want everyone to be passionate about it. So that means we all have to be on board. So let's get talking and discuss what our future looks like here for Overland Park Rotary Club.
Carol Watts, this is Mick. Can you hear me? I missed out on getting back to you. I tried to quickly, but I was on the phone. I thank you for your inquiry. I'm doing very well, and I thank you for your inquiry.
You're on mute, Carol.
Hey.
Good to see you, Mick.
Since I have missed a lot of meetings, I've been on some, I want to say hi to everybody and tell you, not only have I missed seeing you, but in some of the conversations I've had with former members in the last few weeks, they have shared my concern that we all miss seeing each other.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I miss seeing grandchildren and family members and, everybody.
And I miss getting to know all of our new members, which I will remedy immediately once we have our first luncheon session.
Yeah.
And we all should do that. And that luncheon session, that whenever it occurs, should be a meet and greet, and we all should be talking to each other and getting to know the members that we've not yet gotten to know.
Maybe we can have a new meeting on a Monday that where instead of a speaker, we dedicate ourselves just to that.
I'm going to suggest something even more radical, a cocktail party with libations just for that purpose some night, just for that purpose. And I'll buy. Put that in writing. I'll buy.
Hey, all right. Well, this is sounding good.
Find a restaurant with a big patio.
There we go.
The American restaurant is closed.
Well, I hope you had as good a discussion as we did in our breakout session. I made a lot of good notes. And again, I would invite you to share anything you'd like to share with me from your breakout group. I'd love to hear it. And we will be using that feedback as we move forward and planning our next chapter. So I hope to hear from you. We'll move on to our speaker. Today, our program is going to be delivered by Deann Mitchell of Veteran Voices Writing Project. Jeff, are you going to introduce our speaker today?
I'd very much like to do that. Deann has been a great help. This club honored me a couple of years ago on Veterans Day by allowing me to share a story that I had written for Veteran Voices magazine. And it was a very satisfying exercise for me. Through that, I met Deann, who has served on the board of this volunteer organization for 10 years. The organization is very, very old, and she'll probably tell us about that. But it's been a tremendous vehicle to allow veterans to tell their stories and really to serve as a therapy, a writing therapy for veterans. And it's been a very valuable exercise. In real life, besides all the volunteer hours that Deann devotes to Veterans Voices Writing Project, she's been in the financial services industry for over 30 years, even though she doesn't look like she's old enough to have served that long. She is a certified financial planner and a certified divorce financial analyst. She comes to Veterans Voices Writing Project with a background or an education in organizational leadership and business administration. So Deann, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And thank you for that comment about my looking young. I appreciate that. I'll give you your $20 bill next time I see you.
Holding you to that.
So thank you everyone for allowing me to be here. I am Deann Mitchell with Veterans Voices Writing Project. I was scheduled to be with you last year in March, but we all know how that went. So I'm pleased to circle back this year and be with you here today and inviting me to share information about Veterans Voices Writing Project, which is a project near and dear to my heart. Veterans Voices Writing Project is 75 years old this year. It is a nonprofit organization based here in Kansas City. Our office is in the VFW building down on Broadway in Midtown. We started in, and I'm going to say we, even though obviously I wasn't with the group in 1946. We started in 1946 as a therapy project for inpatient soldiers returning from World War II. Writing as therapy was a new idea then, and it quickly grew in popularity with support from the Veterans Administration. We would encourage people in the hospitals. We would provide paper and pencils and get nurses to help soldiers write. It has blossomed over the years and is now available to any veteran. They are not required to be inpatient or even get their health care through the VA system, where any veteran can write for us. And in 1952, the first printed edition of Veterans Voices magazine was published, and it's still being published today, and it remains the only magazine in the United States that's dedicated solely to the works of veterans. Today, the magazine is published 3 times a year, both print and digitally, and I will show you the digital version after a little bit. And we have a worldwide audience. We have authors from all over the United States, and we regularly have people logging in from all over the world. So I'm going to now show a video that PBS actually made for us a few years ago, and was part of their program, Veterans Coming Home. So I'm going to share my screen, and I tested this with William earlier, so I'm hopeful that it will work well. Let me make sure that I get the right thing up here. And here we go. Can everyone see that?
Can see it here.
A sound.
Yeah, Deann, you're gonna have to reset your sound again.
Over with sound.
I'm not getting any audio on this.
Let me pause and try to adjust. I thought we had that already worked out, but let me restart it here.
And things were becoming more outpatient.
Can you hear it now?
And so
Okay. Should I
I
start
kind
it
of
over?
arbitrarily just
If you could, that'd be, I think it'd be good.
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought that I had that worked out. There we go. I apologize.
The mission is to offer solace and satisfaction to veterans through the art of writing. And our vision is that someday everyone will understand how valuable writing is and how much solace and satisfaction writing can offer people if they'll just try it.
This project began as Hospitalized Veterans Writing Project because primarily we worked in VA hospitals strictly. As I came along, as at the time when things were becoming more outpatient. And so I kind of arbitrarily just accepted material from people who were served by the VA.
Many times veterans pick up a magazine that maybe they see in a waiting room in a VA medical center, hospital, doctor's waiting room. They pick up a magazine and it inspires them to write.
I mean, sometimes I'll read them just when I'm not feeling the best, or if I'm having a funk, then I go to Veterans Voices and I'm like, look, these are other veterans from all over the world, different eras, that they're expressing themselves. And it opens my mind up to say, hey, if they can express themselves, then I should be able to express myself as well. I didn't really realize that I was dealing with post-traumatic stress until probably 2009, closer to when I was getting out. And it got real bad once I actually got out of the military, because because I don't think there was that bond with all my friends and my brothers and stuff. So I didn't have anybody to talk to. It was just me and my wife and my dog. And I mean, they'll listen, but they can't really relate.
So Veterans Voices, it's like walking into the magazine is like walking into a large room filled with veterans, and they all have stories. Veterans Voices gives the opportunity to veterans to voice their feelings, their stresses, their frustrations. There are some 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. That's a large body count for soldiers who had gone off to war, come back, and then taking their lives because of some silent, crisis going on inside them.
I don't think I'd still be here if I didn't start writing as soon as I did, because there were some dark times where I just didn't really know if I was going to make it to the next day or not, and writing kind of helped me get off that cliff and back to reality.
The key really is to try to find somebody who wants to encourage the veterans to write, that they can write, they have the opportunity if they want to be published or would like an opportunity. I do it because of the guys that we serve. They're an incredible bunch. And some of them are practically my pen pals and my telephone pals.
Karen from Las Vegas, Nevada wrote, "Your program is so helpful to all of us who get our work published in the magazine. For some of us, it is very difficult to talk about things, but easier to write about the problems we face. Thank you for all you do to help us." And then Rich from Nino, Wisconsin wrote, "I do understand how writing can act as a therapy tool and for just entertainment or fun. I laugh and I cry with each issue I read. Veterans Voices is powerful."
You're a veteran, you have a voice. Say something. Don't just keep it in. Let people know your stories.
So that is, again, a piece PBS put for us, which we loved. The two women in the video, Pris Chansky was in the yellow. She has been with us in various different capacities since the early 70s. And Margaret Clark, the woman with the glasses, she's our editor-in-chief, and she has had that role since 1972. So, whoop, let me cancel this. My computer started going on, so hopefully you didn't hear that. So we have stories from nearly every conflict since World War II. We have had a few from World War I. We've had a few from Korea, but a lot of submissions from Vietnam era veterans and more recent. Veterans write about all sorts of topics. We get a lot of service-related stories, but we also get stories about family, pets, seasons, weather, religion, politics. We try not to censor our stories, but over the last few years, we've had to censor a little bit to remain in the middle. Some manuscripts are dark, some are lighthearted, some funny, but all are from the heart, and that's the key. They're all from the heart of the veteran. Several members of this Rotary group have been published in Veterans Voices, including Jeff Ellis, who wrote a wonderful piece about his service and his nephew's service and his uncle's service. David Newcomer has also been published, and Jim Porter have been published. So now I'm going to show you, I'm going to share screen again, and I'm going to show you our website. And there will not be any audio or video with this, so it's just our website. But this is it. It's veteransvoices.org. And here on the landing page, you'll see our mission and a place to subscribe to the magazine and to donate. And then you'll see, as you scroll down, the most recent copy of the magazine, which is fall 2020. Spring 2021 is at the printer right now and should be up here very, very soon. And then you can see some of our past issues on here. And I will click on the edition. It is actually a flip book, so you can just read it on whatever device you have and flip the pages. And you can, since this is very small print, you can zoom in and zoom out and tag a specific page. You could print a specific page. So even though it's digital, it's still very easily read. And if you want a print magazine, of course, you can go back and request a subscription. If you are an author and want to participate in the program, you can go up here to this registration and register to become an author. And it's just a very simple online process. Give us a few of your details, and we take your word that you are an actual veteran. We don't have any kind of vetting program, so be honest with us. And then once you are registered, you can, I'm just going to log in as myself right now. So you can actually get on the website and write within this program. You can, I'm just going to type new poem. And you can see that for each author, you have past submissions saved. So you, as an author, build your own archive, so to speak. So you know what you've turned in and submitted before. And you can submit any writing type, poems, poetry, art. We just added a specific section for artwork in the magazine, and then you can just write and type here. You can copy and paste from a Word doc, or you can actually upload a file if you, so however you're comfortable actually submitting, we can do it there for you. So we do have instructions for how to do that for anybody who has questions. So it's a fairly easy process. We have hundreds of people that are authors. We encourage people to submit their work through the website because that's an easier process. But we do still receive several dozen manuscripts through the mail each month, and we upload them for the veterans. Our organization is made up of volunteers. We literally have a working board who do everything from submitting manuscripts that come in the mail, edit the pieces, and produce the magazine. We have one part-time staff member who's in the office and manages mail and messages and things. And then we pay professionals for the magazine layout and printing. As I said earlier, we've had a long support of from the Veterans Administration. Our magazines are delivered to the Kansas City VA, and they ship boxes of our magazines to VA medical centers and veteran centers nationwide. Roughly 15,000 magazines each year are donated by Veterans Voices to the VA system and distributed throughout the nationwide system. And while we appreciate the mailing of our magazines by the VA, that's the extent of the financial support. Many people who see the magazine at the VA assume that we're completely funded by the VA, and that's not the case. We're funded by contributions from individuals, veteran organizations such as VFW, Disabled American Veterans, and the American Legion, as well as their auxiliaries. Excuse me. We also raise funds through grants and corporate sponsorships, but our primary source of funding is from individual donations and subscriptions. So please consider us with your charitable giving plans. If you order from Amazon frequently, you may know of an Amazon Smile program where you can donate 2% of all your sales to the charity of your choice, and we would appreciate you choosing Veterans Voices for that. And we love to attend different community organization groups like this. We're happy, myself and there's several other people that are available to speak at any type of event at any time to share our work. So that's the end of what I've had prepared, and I'll take any questions that anyone has.
This is Mick. Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Deann, what, if any, connection do you have with Senator Jerry Moran, who is the head currently of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee?
Well, we don't currently have a direct access other than Mr. Jeff Ellis, who is on the call here, has tried to schedule various different meetings with Senator Moran, and in fact was in Washington to speak to him one day, and there was something that happened in Washington when he was there and he wasn't able to meet with him. But we have reached out to him a number of times, but we've never got a formal connection with him. So if anyone knows a formal path to excuse me, a path to Senator Moran, we would very much appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Again, I happen to be a friend of his, and I have a formal path. So I'll be talking with you about that.
Awesome, wonderful. I will ask William to share my contact information with you. That would be great. Or Jeff always knows how to get a hold of me.
I'll contact you through Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, Mick, we could talk offline, but we do have some connections in the works, but we need to follow up on. Pandemic kind of screwed those up. We were planning a trip down to Stafford and Wichita. Haven't made that happen yet. So
yes,
still getting ready for that. So we'll talk, Mick.
We were working on a large corporate sponsorship that could have eased some financial issues related to the project, since we're a small nonprofit. But the pandemic put a slam on that as well. So the pandemic has hurt a lot of different organizations a lot of different ways, and it really cut back on some of our corporate donations this last year. So we're having to wrap that up. I often get the question about my military service. I am not a veteran. I don't pretend to be. I value the veterans that we serve, and I got into this organization. A former client asked me to attend a board meeting, and as a single mother of two at the time, I thought, I don't have time for this, but I agreed to go to the meeting, and then was going to try to slowly just say I really don't have time. And I got to the meeting, and I knew three other of the board members. And so I knew four board members well. I didn't know they knew each other. I didn't know they were connected. And I thought the universe has put me in this place. So that is why I've been on the board for the past 10 years. And it's a wonderful organization. I have no plans of leaving them. And I encourage everyone to participate at some level, whether you're a veteran or not. The stories and poems and artwork are wonderful. So if there's no other questions, Jamia, I will pass it back to you. Thank you so much.
Actually, I do have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Deann, do you connect with the higher ed community at all?
We have in the past done some work with Park University. I know the military association person with KU I've worked and talked to JCCC a couple different times with Zena. They're in your Veterans Administration office. I would love to get more formal connections other than just sharing and verbally, connecting. So if you have suggestions, please let me know.
I will help get you connected with Zena.
Oh, well, I've already connected with Zena, but anything else that you can help with, that's wonderful. And if we can do, set up any type of more formal arrangement, I would love it. So
perfect.
Thanks, Andy.
Any other questions? Well, Deann, thank you for sharing with us today. The Veteran Voices Writing Project is just a tremendous project. It truly is. And it's amazing how it reaches people. I remember when Jeff shared with us his article, I was new to the club and it was one of my favorite meetings. I just loved the presentation. And when he shared it by email, I shared it with other family members and friends and colleagues and got so much great feedback and dialogue about that. So you're truly touching lives. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I can very seldom, this is Emerson, I can very seldom remember crying at a Rotary meeting.
Yeah.
I did it that way.
Mm-hmm. Excellent article to share.
Well, you guys were kind. I was overwhelmed by your response. It was, as Deann has pointed out, these things are kind of labors of love. My particular article was to honor my uncle who was a Marine in World War II and had fought on Iwo Jima for the entire battle, 32 days, I think. And him being, him being a Marine, and my nephew then later became a Marine. There was a real contact that ended up allowing me to use that article as the eulogy at his funeral. But the whole story was really changed his life. He was one of those guys that would never talk about his experience. And the article and the things that happened around it opened him up for the last 5 or 6 years of his life, and he embraced his service and frankly changed his life. It was very rewarding in that sense. So you guys were kind to reward me with your response to it. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for sharing, Jeff. All right, next week's meeting is Joan Cabell of the Alzheimer's Association, the Heart of America chapter. So we look forward to that speaker. And let's close with reciting our 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Will it be beneficial to all involved? It's good to see you all. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thank you, Jamia.
Bye.
Bye.